Alrighty guys, hi, it's Amanda. I am back for another video. I'm going to apologize for my hair. I just got off of work and I find myself in an empty house, so I figured it was a good time to film. This is going to be the next part in my adoption story. If you are new here, I do have a playlist of my adoption story, my foster care story, and then I have a playlist of commentary videos if you're interested in any of that. Those will be on my channel. I'm gonna apologize if you can see the dogs coming and going in the background, or their hair floating around. I am the only one home, so usually I'm able to kick them out of here, but I'm not right now. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get on into today's video. I left off the last one around high school age. So I'm kind of going to pick up from there, kind of talk about some things through high school and early adulthood, and how things were for me with the family, and some things that I don't think everybody really thinks about when they are talking to people who are adopted, or some situations they may face. I will say here that it is important to not put my story onto others. My story is different. Everybody's story is going to be different. Everybody's experience and situations as to may have had them experience these things are all going to be different. And I don't want people who are maybe watching these who meet somebody to just expect or assume that that individual's story is like mine, because that's not necessarily going to be the case. So I'm not really going to be talking about anything in like specific time order. This is just going to be things that I think are kind of important to touch on. So in high school, I think I've pretty much made it clear in my last video, but if I didn't, I felt one with my family by the time I was in high school. I didn't think anything different of myself from the family. I knew I was a part of the family. I loved the family. We were one solid unit. I was at this point, other than dealing with typical teenage issues, I was pretty much just trucking through life. I was involved in extracurricular activities. I had, built friends that I had kind of built in middle school that followed me through high school. Everything was going, I had a pretty normal high school experience. Some of the things that affect me and still affect me, and this is probably just a me thing, is due to, if you've watched my other videos, due to being okay and comfortable with cutting off my biological family so young, I think it has had a ripple effect. By that I mean, I find it rather easy, and that I say all of this with a very heavy heart because something I'm working on. I don't like it about myself, is I do find it very easy to not have people in my life anymore, not maintain friendships. Like when high school was over for me, those really good friends that I had for 5-6 years, they went different ways than I did, and we lost touch, and I really wasn't affected by it. Did I miss those people? 100%. And if I saw them, it was as if no time had gone by. I am a good friend when I'm actively your friend, but when push comes to shove and we separate ways for whatever reason, I may miss you and I still care about you, but I don't feel that loss. And like I said, it is something I'm working on. I have recently relocated to a different state, so this has really been my time to work on that and maintaining my friendships that I gained in Florida. and I am trying really hard to do that, and I think I'm doing a lot better than I ever have, and I am going to continue to push myself to maintain those friendships because those people are important to me. And I do find it, in a new place and everything, it's hard at times when you're an adult and you're working to find new friends. So it's been nice having them to talk to and not feel lonely and be able to kind of tell my life to, and tell them things that are happening here. So that's something that has affected me as a young adult, and even to my age now, it still does affect me. Another thing that I experienced, and this may seem weird, and I'm sure other people have, sorry, Paisley, don't, is that whenever I don't even know what age this really started to happen, but I would go out in public with my family, and I will say, we're all Caucasian. However, when I was younger, my hair was quite a bit lighter. It was dirty blonde. And my family are also Caucasian, but they have more olive skin tones than I do. My mom and my brother do both have blue eyes similar to mine. But aside from that, that was really our only same physical appearance that was similar. So when we would go out to dinner or, just do anything out in public, at times there would be people who would say, "Oh, you guys look just alike." And, we would all look at each other and kind of snicker. And depending on, the situation and if it was appropriate, I would say, "Well, I'm adopted," and we would kind of talk about it. And I say that because adoption, to me, being an adoptee, is something I am proud of. And again, you can't put my story, my experience, and how I feel onto others, because not everybody has the same viewpoints that I do. But I am very proud of being adopted, because for me, I know if I hadn't have been adopted, especially by this family, I don't believe I would be here today. I would put money on it that I wouldn't be, because when I got to them at the age of 10, like I have mentioned, for the next several years, it was a lot of working. They pretty much, the best way I can think of it is I kind of came to them as a toddler. They had to retrain, and I don't mean train in like that in a negative sense, but they had to reteach me almost every aspect of being a human being, being a decent human being at that. And it took a long time. But by the time I was in high school, I feel like I had grasped a lot of their lessons, and I had, become my own person and really was learning how to be me and how to be happy. Another thing that adoption affects some adoptees is medical stuff. So for me, when I was in high school and going to the doctor, I can't remember if I went by myself or if my mom was with me, but I went to the doctor, and I guess maybe they were in a new facility or something, and I had to fill out that initial paperwork. And this next part is going to make me seem a little uneducated, but that's okay. I got the forms and I started filling it out, and it was asking about your family's history, like their medical history. And I can't remember if I called my mom or if she was next to me and I asked her, but I was like, is this on your history? Or are they referring to my biological family? And of course they were referring to my biological family because they want to know if you're, what's the term? You guys know what I mean. If you're like, it's pre-something. I don't know. It's been a long day. But if you're predisposed, there we go. If you have any traits that make you to where you have what they have. I sound really silly right now. But anyways, moving on. I really wasn't able to differentiate on what I was supposed to put there. And I didn't know my biological family's medical history. Not at all. I still don't know all of it, and I will never know all of it. So I don't know, unless I want to go do a ton of testing. I don't know what I could potentially get in the future, or what I may have traits for or genes for that may cause serious illnesses. I don't know that. And it brings up the conversation that you kind of at times are going to have with your doctors, because you're not filling that section out. And it's, if you are an individual who doesn't like telling people or want to tell people, you're kind of forced to in that situation. And for me, like I said, it's never really been an issue for me to discuss that I'm an adopted child. So it wasn't ever hard for me to have those conversations. But I don't know that. I don't know if there's something really serious in my DNA that I need to worry about. So that's something that can be scary, especially as we get older. Being adopted, that you may not have access to that. I know that in early adulthood, I really grew very, very close to my mom, and we kid at times that we're from another life. We must have been sisters or kindred spirits, or whatever analogy you want to put on it, because we are so similar in so many ways. We're different in a lot of ways too, but when it comes to like our heart and our beliefs and who we care about and what we care about most, they're very much alike. And you could probably argue that that's because she ultimately raised me. My dad did too, but due to his career, there were times growing up that he wasn't there. So, I feel that by the time I was a senior in high school, it was never a doubt in my mind that I wasn't meant to be with a family that was chosen for me, or that chose me. I mean, you can think of it in any number of ways. I'm so happy, and I know I wouldn't be where I am or who I am today without them. I will be in the next video, which will probably be coming up sometime this weekend. I'm not going to put a day on it, because when I do that, something tends to happen and I'm not able to film. But I am going to be talking about my biological family a little bit more, and things that have happened, and provide some information around that for those who may be interested in that. Keep tuned in. It should be here at least by Monday at the latest. I also plan on filming a couple of other commentary channels, so if that's something you're more interested in, those will be coming your way. If you're new here and you enjoyed this or any of my other content, if you could subscribe. If you have any questions, or if there's something that you feel I may have more information or experience on, feel free to leave it in the comments. I don't mind answering it down there, or if it's something that needs a little bit more filming a video. These videos will be continuing, and I do want to preface that if at any time I remember something, I will film a video and let you guys know at what point in the timeline it may fall under. But I think that's all I have for today. It is a shorter film, but as you heard, one of the dogs still next to me, they need my attention, so I am going to go ahead and go. I hope you guys are having a good day, evening, or night, wherever you are, and I will see you next time. Bye!